Singh is now being taken to jail. The second time in 3 days, Raja Singh is being taken to the Cherlapally jail in Hyderabad. He's been booked under the Preventive Detention Act at this point of time. India Today has accessed details of the charges against T Raja Singh. The Hyderabad police says that Raja commented blasphemously against Prophet Muhammad. Even though blasphemy is not described in Indian law, there is no such thing as blasphemy in the Indian Penal Code. The Hyderabad police has used the word blasphemously in its arrest statement. The other charges against T Raja Singh are intent to provoke a community, cause of breach of peace and security, and potential for creating riots, offending fundamental rights as well. So these are the charges against T Raja Singh, who has now been arrested for the second time in 3 days by the Hyderabad police. We're going to go take you straight to Hyderabad in just a moment for all the action, all the updates. This is an unfolding, live-breaking story from Hyderabad. I'm Shiv Aroor. This is 5 Live. Quickly, the headlines first. T Raja Singh arrested for the second time in 3 days over his prophet remark. Accuses KCR government of manufacturing controversy. Owaisi condemns Sartan se juda call for but secures the release of his netas secretly. Big relief for Modi government in Pegasus spygate. Supreme Court panel says no proof of Pegasus spyware in 29 phones examined. BJP cries vindication, demands an apology from Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. Supreme Court issues notice to Centre and Gujarat government on Bilkis Bano rapist remission. Makes 11 rapist murderers a party in the case. Bilkis's lawyer vows to continue the fight for justice. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren faces the axe in an illegal mining case. Poll panel recommends his disqualification as an MLA for awarding mining contract to himself. Soren cries foul. BJP headquarters controlling central agencies, he says. Murder case filed in Haryana. BJP leader Sonali Phogat case. FIR lodged by family. Goa police to study post-mortem report. She passed away of a cardiac arrest 2 days ago in Goa. After being arrested for the second time in 3 days, Raja Singh is being taken to the Cherlapally jail. But before we get you to that big breaking update, today's spotlight is going to be on the hypocrisy of this man, Asaduddin Owaisi. Here's a man who makes a big show of being a righteous messiah, a man of the people, a man who on the record condemned the Sartan se juda taunts, Sartan se juda slogans and chants in Hyderabad. But only a day later, he's been caught talking on the phone and endorsing and facilitating the early release of those who chanted Sartan se juda and were detained by the police. That is the reality of Asaduddin Owaisi that the world needs to see at this point of time. He crafts himself and projects himself as a blemishless leader, and he perhaps is. But today, can he explain endorsing the early release of people who chanted Sartan se juda just 24 hours after he came on India Today on this channel and condemned those saying Sartan se juda, asking for action to be taken against those people? Can there be a bigger hypocrisy over this? We'll get to that in just a moment, because right now in Hyderabad, the man over whom the Sartan se juda protests have been happening, some of them at the behest of Owaisi's own party, has been arrested for the second time. He's been taken to the Cherlapally jail in Hyderabad after a medical check. This is the second time that Raja Singh has been arrested in the last 3 days. He's been booked under the Preventive Detention Act, or PD Act. India Today has accessed details of the charges against Raja Singh, and they are fully in keeping with the abusive, highly provocative statement that he had given out a few days ago on video, and the many such statements he's made in the past as well. Hyderabad police says Raja commented blasphemously against Prophet Muhammad, which is a little odd considering that blasphemy is not described in Indian law or under the Indian Penal Code. So one wonders why the Hyderabad police has chosen to use the word blasphemously. The other charges against T Raja Singh include, and correctly so, intent to provoke a community, cause breach of peace and security, potential for creating riots, offending fundamental rights. These are the very, very serious charges against T Raja Singh. Remember, he's been thrown under the bus by the BJP as well. They've cut him loose. They've suspended him very, very quickly and issued a show cause notice to him over why he shouldn't be expelled by the party in 10 days. But T Raja Singh has brazened it out. He says this is a conspiracy against him by the KCR government in Telangana. And around the figure of that one man, T Raja Singh, the situation in Hyderabad has remained fragile for days now. And last night, those protests spilled over. Protests that started over his prophet comments. They've taken a completely communal turn, and things are restive in parts of old Hyderabad. The city at large is absolutely fine, but certain sections of old Hyderabad continue to be tense. Protesters chanting Sartan Se Juda slogans are flooding the streets of parts of old Hyderabad. Amidst all this, AIMIM chief and Hyderabad Lok Sabha MP Asaduddin Owaisi has dialed the protesters, extending support to them. The people who he himself on record here on India Today said should be facing a jail term. He's busy getting them out. Take a look at this hypocrisy.
Hyderabad on the boil. With large mobs laying siege to streets, chanting Sartan Se Juda slogans. Amid all the communal frenzy, the leaders who can contain the violence are busy doing something rather sinister. AIMIM chief and MP from Hyderabad, Asaduddin Owaisi, was caught on tape securing the release of those detained by cops for beheading rants in public.
जो आके मुजफ्फर कॉर्पोरेटर साहब और समस्त कॉर्पोरेटर साहब आके हम लोग रिहा करे और आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जज़ाकल्लाह।
अब जाओ 1:30 बज गया, सुबह 1:30 बज रहे, अब जाओ घर में परेशान होंगे
जी।
इंशाल्लाह मुजफ्फर समझ लिया कि आप घर पे छोड़ देंगे
जी। अच्छी बात है साहब, शुक्रिया साहब।
आराम से रहो, परेशान रखो, इंशाल्लाह मालूम होता है कि हम हरकत में आए और ये नहीं होना था वो
जी साहब।
आप जाइए, घर को जाइए, आराम करिए
जी। अच्छी बात है साहब, शुक्रिया जज़ाकल्लाह साहब।
हाँ, घर वाले परेशान होंगे, आप जाइए
जी।
The shocking backing of rioters came a day after Owaisi, for the record, admonished the same Sartan Se Juda brigade.
We have to ensure that we protest, we demand the arrest of that MLA. At the same time, we must ensure that BJP and Sangh Parivar and fascist communal forces do not succeed in creating any violence in Hyderabad.
AIMIM leaders inadvertently revealed Owaisi's double standards.
और हम हमेशा ये बात समझते थे। साहब को हिदायत दी कि फौरी जो है यहाँ पर कंचनबाग पुलिस स्टेशन पहुँचे और इन महरूस बेकसूर बच्चों को जो है रिहा करवाने के लिए। तो आकर यहाँ पर जो है एडिशनल डीसीपी आनंद साहब से जो है हमने नुमाइंदगी की और जो है बैरिस्टर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब ने खुद रास्त तौर पर डीसीपी से बात करते हुए इन जो है ना बेकसूर बच्चों को यहाँ की रिहाई अमल में लाई।
Amid escalating face-off, ex-BJP MLA Raja Singh slammed the KCR government.
मैं 10 दिन तक पुलिस से और केटीआर से हाथ जोड़कर निवेदन किया कि मैं राम जी के नाम पर मरने वाला व्यक्ति हूं और मेरे भगवान को उसने गाली दिया, कमेंट किया, ऐसे व्यक्ति का प्रोग्राम ना लगाए। 10 दिन तक मैंने हाथ पैर जोड़े ये केटीआर के जो कि मुख्यमंत्री का बेटा है, लेकिन उसका ईगो बीच में आया।
Meanwhile, beheading slogans were also raised near the house of Raja Singh's lawyer.
As an advocate who argued the case, being receiving several threatening calls to kill me for defending MLA Raja Singh, I am going to file an application with the police regarding the threatening calls, and also a petition with the High Court for security.
The beleaguered Hyderabad police, facing flack for going soft on Sartan Se Juda sloganeers, detained 3 non-Muslims who locals had nabbed and roughed up, accusing them of indulging in a bid to demonize Muslims. With Apoorva Jayachandran and Abdul Bashir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
And remember, while some small-time protesters have been detained by the police and their release has been facilitated by Owaisi's party, Owaisi himself endorsing the early release of some of these people, please take a look at the real hate mongers of Hyderabad, apart from T Raja Singh himself. And let me repeat once again, T Raja Singh has rightly been arrested. He's rightly been arrested for his provocative hate speech. The question is, what about these influential party leaders, influencers, community leaders and members who've been busy chanting Sartan Se Juda for the last 3 days with no action taken against them? Over T Raja Singh, who's now been arrested for the 2nd time in 3 days, and rightly so, because he deserves to be in jail for his terrible, provocative and absolutely communal abusive speech. Now, T Raja Singh, we questioned him, we spoke to him, and the only channel to put questions to T Raja Singh right before his arrest. This is a big exclusive by Apoorva Jayachandran in Hyderabad. Listen in.
बस एक स्टेटमेंट चाहिए था सर आपसे, अगर हो सकता है तो।
अगर स्टेटमेंट मुझे जब देना है ना 100% मैं आपको सूचित करूंगा मैडम।
जी ठीक है सर। नहीं, अभी आप आज भी एक स्टेटमेंट दिया है ना कि शायद दोबारा अरेस्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ये सब करके।
हाँ, वो इसलिए मैं आपको तुरंत मैसेज और प्रेस नोटिस में देखिए, आप ऑब्जर्व कीजिए नोटिस में है।
जी।
यानी कल वो नोटिस तैयार की गई और मुझे आज दिया गया।
जी।
यानी हम इनको 24 आवर्स मौका दिए, इन्होंने जवाब नहीं दिया, इसलिए आज इनको अरेस्ट करा। ऐसा भी एक पिक्चर ये लोग स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं आज।
जी, तो ये आपको लग रहा है कि आज ये लोग फिर से कुछ कोशिश करेंगे?
देखिए, कल मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय में एक मीटिंग हुई पर्टिकुलर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को लेकर। तो मुख्यमंत्री जी, डीजीपी और ऑल कमिश्नर, बस अभी क्या उनको भी एक ईगो आ गया कि भाई
जी
तो वो हमारे को लॉस हो जाएंगे। आप क्या पॉलिटिकल एंगल से वो लोग कैसा भी कुछ ना कुछ करना बोलते वो लोग विचार करो।
जी सर,
तो लीगली अपन स्ट्रांग है, क्योंकि रूल ऐसा नहीं है। आप नोटिस देने के बाद में 7 दिन का समय होता है। मैं अगर आपको जवाब नहीं देता हूं तो आप एक्शन ले सकते हैं, लेकिन ठीक है, क्या होगा देखेंगे अपूर्णा जी, हम आपको तुरंत अपडेट करेंगे।
जी ठीक है सर। सर बस अगर आप किसी चैनल के लिए बैठ रहे हैं, प्लीज सर, हम आपका जो
बिल्कुल मैडम
पूरा आपको भी पता है, हम जैसे आपके पीछे ही पड़े हैं कि आपका लाइन चाहिए। बिल्कुल मैडम। अगर एक भी लाइन हम अभी सेंटेंस कुछ ले सकते हैं सर, क्या आप वीडियो कुछ बना के?
नहीं, इसलिए मैंने आपको नहीं, राइटिंग मैंने आपको भेज दिया है, इसको आप आज यूज कर सकते हैं। अगर ऐसा मुझे यानी कुछ भी अगर मेरा एडवोकेट कहता है कि आप वीडियो रिलीज कर सकते तो मैं तुरंत कर दूंगा आपको।
जी ठीक है सर, बिकॉज हम अभी आपके घर के पास ही थे, हम लोग आपके घर के बाहर ही हम लोग कुछ लाइव कर रहे थे, तो इसलिए पूछ रहा था अगर 2 मिनट भी हो सकता है आपके पास तो।
जी, हमारा एडवोकेट जी अगर बताएंगे तो मैं तुरंत आपको सूचित करूंगा।
जी ठीक है सर।
Now look at what Asaduddin Owaisi said on India Today, and then what he's been caught saying on the phone to the protesters saying Sartan Se Juda. Please look at this black and white hypocrisy of the Hyderabad MP. Take a look at this.
जो नारे लगे मैं उसका कंडेम करता हूं। आपकी लड़ाई, हमारी लड़ाई कानून के दायरे में रहकर होगी। जो नारे लगा रहे हैं मैं उससे मुत्तफिक नहीं हूं, मैं उसको कंडेम करता हूं। और जो नारे लगा रहे हैं मैं उनको भी कहना चाह रहा हूं, आप कानून को अपने हाथ में नहीं ले सकते। इस तरह की बकवास नारे अरे मत करिए, इस तरह क्यों लगा रहे हैं आप?
और भाई बहुत बुरा हुआ, वो मालूम होते कि मेरे को मैं मुजफ्फर को बोला
जो आके मुजफ्फर कॉपरेटर साहब और समस्त कॉपरेटर साहब आके हम लोग रिहा करे और आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, जज़ाकल्लाह।
अब जाओ 1:30 बज गया, सुबह 1:30 बज रहे, अब जाओ घर में परेशान होंगे।
जी
इंशाल्लाह मुजफ्फर समझ लिया कि आप घर पे छोड़ देंगे।
जी अच्छी बात है साहब, शुक्रिया साहब।
आराम से रहो, परेशान रखो, इंशाल्लाह मालूम होते कि हम हरकत में आए और ये नहीं होना था वो।
जी साहब
आप जाइए, घर पे जाइए, आराम करिए।
जी अच्छी बात है साहब, शुक्रिया, जज़ाकल्लाह साहब।
हाँ, घर वाले परेशान होंगे, आप जाइए।
जी अच्छी।
ओके।
So where does Asaduddin Owaisi really stand, and is there a selective approach going on in the evolving situation in the beautiful city of Hyderabad? Joining us live now from the ruling TRS party of Telangana, Krishank Mane, Ratan Sharda is an author and an analyst, Waris Pathan of the AIMIM, and we'll be joined in a short while. We also have Rahul Ishwar, author and activist. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for your time. Waris Pathan, Asaduddin Owaisi was on India today saying that he condemns the use of Sartan Se Juda. He said it in very clear terms, but then he's heard on the phone basically endorsing, facilitating possibly the early release of, some people who've been saying that. And over and above that, the cooperators, the leaders of the AIMIM who've been indulging in this phrase, no action has been taken against them, sir.
Well, the hypocrisy of the BJP is exposed before the entire nation. Prime Minister Modi says sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, but when it comes on the ground, what has happened? What we see is the BJP is trying to create hatred for a particular community. Their spawns are spewing venom day in and out against our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The BJP is trying to destroy the secular fabric of our great nation.
Does Mr. Owaisi condemn this slogan or not?
Raja Singh,
it's a call for death, sir. T Raja Singh has been arrested. The law is taking its course against him, and rightly so. He belongs in jail. I am with you on that.
We condemn all kind of such slogans which lead to violence or which provoke violence. We condemn all kind of slogans.
But why is Mr. Owaisi facilitating the early release of people who are chanting that, Mr. Pathan?
We condemn.
With the greatest of respect.
Who said so?
Who facilitated? Why is Mr. Owaisi facilitating the release?
The Constitution. You see, who said that we supported the people who did the slogans of Sartan?
He's on the phone. He's on audio. He's on audio saying, "Aap log ghar jao." He's saying, "We'll take care of it."
Lying. You are lying. Allow me to make my point. Now, allow me to make my point.
Make your point, sir.
Constitution has given us a right to protest peacefully. Constitution has given us a right to protest peacefully without provocative slogans, without coming into violence. There were certain of the people, youths who were picked up by the police because they were protesting peacefully. So our party intervened, our corporators got them out. But you made halla bola out of it. We said that time and again that we condemn the slogans of Sartan Se Juda time and again.
Zafar Khan is an AIMIM cooperator.
I say I request the people to maintain peace.
I join you in your appeal for peace, sir.
You allow me to make my point, Shiv, then only it will be a good debate. Otherwise, if you intervene on my every word, it won't lead to anywhere. Yes.
I am only saying I join
okay, you make your point.
I join you in welcoming the arrest of T Raja Singh. But I have to ask you, Mr. Pathan, you have to take my question, sir. These are live pictures coming in from the jail where T Raja Singh is rightly going to be taken into jail. Those are live pictures on our screen. Zafar Khan, AIMIM cooperator. He has chanted Sartan Se Juda. Nasreen Sultana, AIMIM cooperator, she has chanted Sartan Se Juda. Mr. Owaisi is speaking to the protesters saying early release will happen, we will facilitate it. Your party has not taken any action. It is like you are condemning Sartan Se Juda as lip service, but in reality it's almost like you are endorsing it, sir.
Well, T Raja's place is in jail only. The radicalized fringe element of the BJP, T Raja, who used derogatory remarks against our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, should have remained in custody. But what has happened is within 4 hours he came out on bail.
He's back.
Whereas comparatively, if you see a fact checker called Zubair, he tweeted on a 30-year-old movie
You're avoiding my question.
Was sentenced to jail for 1 month. This was only after Supreme Court granted him bail. Yeah, Raja Singh
you're
had to be
avoiding
sent
my
to jail. This
question
is
on the
whatever
hypocrisy of
our
your
demand
party,
was
sir, and
that
your party
he should
leader.
be arrested. No, what hypocrisy did we show?
Have
We
you taken
condemn all
any
kind
action
of violence.
against Zafar
Whatever
Khan and
action is to be
Nasrina
taken
Sultan,
against
sir?
the corporators of a party
Sir,
will
please
take.
tell me this.
But
Please
what
tell me
action has
this.
been taken against T Raja? Merely
Mr.
by
Pradhan,
suspending. Similar action was
I
taken
agree
against
with
the
you.
Pushar,
I
the
agree with
BJP
you.
has not learned from that.
I agree with you. I am saying T Raja Singh should have been in jail a long time ago for his provocative statements. Now you answer my question, sir. I am asking you. I am not from the BJP.
Yes.
I am a journalist. I am asking you, has any action been taken against Zafar Khan and Nasreen Sultana? At least two people among many other AIMM members who have been chanting Sar Tan Se Juda. Your party leader has condemned it and said action must be taken against them. Will you sack them from your party immediately? They are calling for the death of citizens, sir. People have been killed just weeks ago over the slogan Sar Tan Se Juda.
Whosoever will use provocative slogans leading to violence, party will take action against them. You don't worry about that. What action has been taken by Prime Minister Modi and the BJP on the leader who called Desh ke gaddaron ko goli maro? Has any action taken against Anurag Thakur? Has the BJP sacked him? So let us not go into that. Today the question before the nation is that peace and tranquility should be maintained.
Okay,
We
you're saying that action will be taken.
Of hatred to spread hatred must
You're
go on.
saying that action will be taken.
Yes,
Let's
we
hope that
don't
action is
want
taken.
See, that is why we are requesting the people. See, that is why we are requesting the people that the BJP's policy is to spread hatred. They want to create riot. They want to indulge to communal riot. Don't fall prey to their politics. Don't fall prey to their policies. Kindly maintain peace. Don't use violence. Violence is no solution to any problem.
Except that would all be wonderful words, Mr. Pradhan.
That is what I say.
That would sound legitimate. That would sound plausible when leaders of your own party, and I'm not talking about cadres and workers, but corporators who are influential, members of society, elected representatives are saying Sar Tan Se Juda in public during these protests. That paints a very different picture. Krishank Mane, I'd like to come to you now. You belong to the ruling party of Telangana. Once again, okay, Krishank Mane is going to be with us in just a moment. We've lost that source. We'll come back to him in just a moment. Bringing in Ratan Sharda in on this. Ratan sir, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? T Raja Singh is in jail. The law is taking its course. My personal view is he belongs in jail for the provocative things he has said. But I want to focus on Asaduddin Owaisi and the hate mongering that has been taking place on the roads. No action has been taken against those who've chanted Sar Tan Se Juda. Mr. Shah.
If the Owaisi guys who come on TV with prepared statements forget that people don't forget history so easily. I have called Owaisi a neo-Jinnah many times, and I stand by my statement because the roots, the bloody roots of blood-soaked roots of MIM go back to Razakar days. 1946-1947, hundreds of Hindus were butchered for no reason at all. Women raped, villages arsoned for no, no mistake of theirs, no provocation from their side, because these people wanted to stay with Pakistan. The guy called Qasim Rizvi had to run away to Pakistan, and he handed over this particular organization to grandfather of Owaisi. Policies have not changed. Owaisi has also supported terrorists, and he has said openly that as a democratic right, I must protect terrorists. So today what he has done is on the same line. Where is the worry? Mr. Owaisi, Mr. Pathan sitting here has said 15 crore, 100 crore pe bhari padenge. Their MP said that Nupur Sharma ko sadak ke kone pe tang do. His brother, Owaisi's brother, joked and ridiculed Hindu gods. Any action taken of Mr. Owaisi? No. So what they say and what they act is very different.
Okay.
They are the people, biggest hypocrites. And coming to TRS, what TRS has done, they got so scared. They made a show of arresting 90 people, released them, and they have not taken any action. Congress MLA Rashid Khan comes on TV, their Kashaf comes on TV. He openly threatened on camera to the police station, 24 ghante mein action le to jala dalunga.
None of them have been
arrested.
arrested.
Is still outside. No action. So TRS has no legs to stand on because TRS and M are sleeping partners. So they can get their people released. They will not take any action against their people, and they will take action against Raja. So
let's get a word in. Let's get a word in from the ruling TRS. Krishank Mane is with us. Krishank, I hope you can hear me. The question to you, yes, Krishank, here is that no action has been taken against the Sar Tan Se Juda, chanters and the sloganeers in Hyderabad. AIMIM corporators like Nasreen Sultan and others who have been chanting this for the last 3 days. No action has been taken against them. The Hyderabad police has acted against T Raja Singh, very rightly so, may I say, very rightly so, but nothing against the Sartan Se Juda, shouters. How come? This is being seen as selective. People have been murdered on the chant of Sartan Se Juda just a few months ago.
Shiv, I've been following your shows since last 3 days. Particularly, I've agreed to attend your show because I wanted to give you the update. Probably your correspondent has not given an update that 3 days ago, the man who was sitting in your show and was boasting of those slogans has been arrested just now.
I just have the breaking news right now.
Yes,
so that's an India Today impact in that case. Yeah.
Exactly what we are trying to say is the Hyderabad police, as Hyderabadis, our request is we are not being biased to anyone. Our government has to see that peace prevails. If there are lathi charges or if we are dispersing crowds or if we are doing arrests, we are not asking people which community you are from. Whoever are resorting to hate or violence are being booked, are being arrested. Likewise, like Raja Singh or even that Kashaf who was on your show, who was sloganeering, or rest of the people.
Krishank, I just want to tell our viewers this. Krishank, you've broken the story here and I thank you for that. I'm coming back to you in just 30 seconds. Here's the breaking news, viewer. That social media influencer who used to be associated with the AIMIM, Syed Kashaf, has been arrested by the Hyderabad police. You will all remember him. My viewers will remember him. He was here on India Today just a couple of days ago where I questioned him on his use of Sartan Se Juda. He has been arrested now. Krishank, good job by the Hyderabad police, even if it comes belatedly, but that is not an issue. The fact is that he's been arrested, which is a good thing. But what about, Krishank, I want to also ask you, Zafar Khan is an AIMIM cooperator. Nasreen Sultana is an AIMIM cooperator. Very visible in those visuals. I know who I'm talking about, Krishank. So with respect, I'm asking you, I know it's a developing situation. It's not like the police can simply go in and act immediately when it's a tense situation. I understand that. But it's been 3 days now and we are still seeing these slogans happen. When will action be taken against the AIMIM cooperators?
I reiterate, government of Telangana will act on whoever who provokes any community or any feelings or any crowd or any mob at the odd timings. The right now there are two tasks. As you said, cases are being booked, FIRs are being lodged, they will be arrested. But simultaneously, what is happening is we have two issues now. One is the Friday, we do not want any kind of disorder or any kind of communal disharmony. And in few days, we also have the Vinayaka Chavati, which grandly Hyderabad, Ganga Jamuni Tehzi, both Hindu and Muslim celebrate. So we do not want any kind of disturbance in law and order. Definitely both of this. There are two situations in hand, Shiv. We request India Today also that these two issues where while this gatherings or protests or encouraging, because you've seen Raja Singh's video also, I believe, he has called people to join him in support of him, which is also not right. Simultaneously, this mob gatherings also should be stopped. So arrests will happen, sloganeerings, all those who have done will be picked up based on the evidence and visuals. And simultaneously, the police on the ground will ensure that no gathering should take place.
That's a good thing and we will hold you to that. Stay with me, Krishank. Ratan Sharda, you want a quick reply to that? Then I'm going to play out for you the India Today impact.
10 seconds.
With Syed Abdahu Kashaf being arrested. Yeah. Ratan Sharda, then I'll go to
Rashid Khan, the Congress MLA Rashid Khan, who started the mayhem in Hyderabad, going and challenging the police station, he has not been arrested yet. And he is the most visible person on the screen, single person on the screen. Why is not been arrested? Why 90 people are released immediately? Under whose command? Under whose demand? Can he respond? He can make some show of Kashaf, etc. But actually, they have done hardly anything. They
this is a fair point. This is a fair point. Krishank, this is a fair point that, the social media influencer has been arrested, but the big fish are still out there. So Ratan Sharda says this is all cosmetic. This is a cosmetic indication of crackdown, but the real people behind it have not been arrested. I'm coming to you, Rahul, after Krishank's reply.
Rashid, there is a lookout for Rashid also. The department, the task force is searching for Rashid Khan. As I told you, all the visuals are being monitored. Come on, yaar. Why don't you join the police? Sharda ji, why
He's on
don't you
the
join the
TV
police? Let the police do
every
its
day.
job. Let the police
He's
do
on the
its job.
TV every day, my friend.
Don't start
Also, Feroz Khan,
monitoring
who's his
things.
brother.
Everyone,
He's on
Shiv.
the TV
I
every
am
day.
here particularly to
Look
assure
out.
you because
Come
I've
to
seen
TV
your
studio.
show. I've seen the arrogance of Kashyap. I should also tell you, I take the liberty that we have all put pressure. Yes, government of Telangana, KCRG will not tolerate. He's been speaking right now. He has been addressing this issue at a collectorate opening that as long as KCR as a chief minister is there, he will not let any disharmony in Hyderabad. 8 years we have not seen any riots. And right now, if one BJP MLA statements can cost us this, we will not tolerate whosoever it is.
Okay. So there is I just want to name them again. You know, apart from Feroz Khan, Rashid Khan, Zafar Khan of the AIMIM, the first two are from the Congress, Nasreen Sultana also of the AIMIM, are at least 4 names of corporators of the Congress and the AIMIM who've been issuing death threats, issuing violent calls, inciting the public, saying Sartan se juda. No action has been taken against them. Krishank Mane of the TRS says, let us do our job. We will get them. Nobody will be spared. That is a good message to send out, but the time is ticking. How long a rope is going to be given to these people because action is being taken against, you know, some small-time protesters on the road at this point. Rahul Ishwar is also with me. Rahul, where do you stand on this? Do you think there is selective action being taken on the ground in Hyderabad?
There needs to be collective action, not selective action. As a Hindu activist, I make it a point to say Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, respecting the sentiments and sensibilities of our Muslim brothers. We need moderates of both Hindu community and Muslim community to come forward and say that Raja Singh is wrong. Me being a Hindu, it is my duty and patriotic responsibility to say that Raja Singh is wrong. He is insulting, demeaning Prophet. This is un-Hindu and this is anti-Indian. In the same way, we need Muslim community members and brothers and sisters to come forward and say, those who chant Sartan se juda are absolutely unacceptable because that's a death call, that's a call for beheading.
Yes.
With all due respect, that's the ISIS chant. We need our Muslim brothers to come forward and say, we don't agree with those who chant this and they should be prosecuted. Similarly, moderates of both sides should be encouraged. Then only we can alienate hardliners from every side. This is not a political program. There are deep-seated communal fault lines which we need to heal. And I believe all the media, all the panelists, we all need to give a healing touch. That healing touch, not igniting, not inciting, is extremely important. There are many people who will fish in troubled waters. There are many people who would like to keep the pot boiling from all sides. But moderate, responsible Indians should come forward and vouch for harmony and vouch for, as Shiv Aroor may know, we in Kerala take pride in the fact that we go to a mosque and church before going to Sabarimala temple. We believe in that harmony. That was what Gandhiji taught us, Swami Vivekananda taught us. So please remember, these are occasions to reiterate our commitment to pluralism, harmony, inclusive approach, and hardliners of all community. Tutu meme and whataboutery will not do. Saying that what happened then is not going to do. Two wrongs will never make a right. So let us not justify any wrong. Let us call out hardliners from both Hindus and Muslims. Let moderates carry the day and all the hardliners be sidelined so that we can build on harmony, a centrist kind of attitude and moderation in our society.
India Today stands for peace. India Today also stands for justice. There cannot be a selective approach. There needs to be a collective approach. Let's hope that happens. Peace immediately in those restive parts of Hyderabad is going to be the overarching priority. A ruling party representative has promised speedy action against those who have still not been acted against. We will be watching. The public is watching as well. Thank you to all of you for joining me and giving me your time here on 5 Live. Now, Syed Kashif, an influencer from Hyderabad who was the most prominent chanter of Sartan Se Juda, was on India Today's 5 Live with me just 48 hours ago, and now he's been arrested. This is an India Today impact because nobody else was talking about this arrogant, brazen influencer who said he had no remorse for saying Sartan Se Juda and would do it again. Take a look. You chanted Sartan Se Juda outside, right? Do you know where that phrase is from?
No, please tell me.
Do you know where it's from?
No, please.
An extremist Islamist organization called the Tehreek-e-Labaik Pakistan invented this phrase a few years ago, and it is used to murder people in Pakistan. Are you aware of that? since you are using that phrase in Hyderabad, because you are clearly an Indian, not a Pakistani.
As I am not from Pakistan, I am not aware
So
of the things what
why
is
are you
happening in
using a phrase?
Pakistan.
Why are you using a
Looks
phrase
like
invented by an extremist Pakistani radical group?
Sir, when it comes
Are
to
you a
protest,
member
there
of
are
some
many
terror group? Are you a
slogans
member
which
of a
were
terror group
raised,
or an extremist
which
radical
were,
group that you are using their language in India, which is a democracy,
I
not an
don't have,
Islamist republic? Are you a
don't
Pakistani
have,
to take their
I
lines
don't
and
have
use it here?
anything. I don't have anything
Who are you to say someone
to
should be
do with
beheaded for their
RSS.
words?
I don't have anything.
Who
I
are
don't
you to
have
say
anything.
someone should be beheaded? Who are you to say that?
Sir, first of all, the thing is, जो है, what your channel is showing is a small video. It is not the complete thing.
No,
What was happening?
We've seen
You
the
are
whole
not
thing.
aware of that.
Syed, we've seen the whole thing. Don't make excuses now. Don't make excuses now.
Sir,
You are
I
on
don't have to
camera.
make any excuses.
You are on camera. You are on camera. You have 50,000 Twitter followers. You have 50,000 Twitter followers. You have been retweeting and retweeting your videos say Gustakhe Rasool ki ek hi saza, and your followers are all chanting Sartan se juda, Sartan se juda. Don't try and distance and say ye chota video hai, ek hi video hai. You have been retweeting everything.
Sir, that is not only the tweet. I actually believe कि जो है that thing.
So you think that someone who says something, you think that you are basically calling for the beheading of another Indian. You're calling for the beheading of another Indian.
If someone talks shit about if someone talks shit about our prophet, then it won't be tolerated. Whatever.
Who the hell are you to call for someone to be beheaded, boss? Excuse me. Who are you to call for that? Who are you to call for that?
This is my country.
Who are you to call for that? We have the police, we have the judiciary. Who are you to call for someone to be beheaded?
They will take.
And you're sitting in a crowd like a coward. You're not even doing it alone. You're a coward. You're doing it. You're not even doing it alone. Why are you in a crowd? Why don't you come out alone and say it? Who are you to call for beheading in this country?
No. I hope you would have asked the same question to the people who said.
We've asked everyone the questions. Unlike we've asked questions to everyone. I'm asking you. Tell me something.
I know.
A few days ago. Syed, listen to me. We are both Indians, so let me ask you this question. A few days ago, there were protests. Few weeks ago, there were protests.
Me an Indian.
Two people were beheaded.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah, Syed, you are a coward.
My life
Syed,
is
you are a coward.
successful.
You're a coward. You're a coward. Nobody respects you. Your friends don't respect you. Your followers don't respect you. You are a coward who has said Sartan se juda with a huge crowd. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your view. Nobody cares about your view or your opinion. You are basically a coward.
I don't want anything.
Syed, your friends, your family are ashamed of you. You are a coward, basically. It doesn't make a difference. Don't you dare call for the beheading of anyone ever again. Remorseless on 5 Live 2 days ago about chanting Sartan se juda. The Hyderabad police, the government of Telangana has watched India today. The pressure has built up and they've had no choice but to arrest Syed Kashif. That is what the rule of law is supposed to be. Not selective, but collective. But remember, there are others who are still out there who've been chanting it and who are much more powerful than Syed Kashif. Well, communal tensions in Hyderabad, parts of old city, not the overall city, as some channels are making it look like, continue to simmer and be tense. Massive crowds have protested against T Raja over his comments against Prophet Muhammad. Sartan se juda and we want justice slogans have also been raised right through the night. There was lathi charge as well. It was a tense night in old Hyderabad. Take a look.
This is what played out on the streets of Hyderabad on Wednesday night. Massive crowds gathered to protest against suspended BJP MLA T Raja Singh and his comments against Prophet Muhammad. As the number of people swelled, slogans like Sartan se juda once again rang in the air, clearly emboldened by the lack of action against the chanters.
You can see how the stone pelting is done from the other side, where police are standing at this lane here, and the other side the protesters are pelting stone at the police officials. However, the police is trying to catch hold of these protesters and detaining them, taking them to the nearest police stations. the rapid action force. You can see how they are barging into the lanes, getting the protesters, detaining them, and then taking them into the vehicle that you can see here.
Parts of old Hyderabad witnessed unprecedented tensions as people from two communities started gathering on the streets. And the rapid action force immediately suited up in riot gear to control the situation.
From both the sides, as you can see, police have geared up, and now heavy police deployment can be seen. The vehicles have been brought up here. One side you can see how the traffic is disrupted for the common people traveling here at this side, and the other side the complete road has been blocked. Both the community protesters are coming in the opposite direction here. Police is standing as a barricade between them, trying to make them understand, trying to tell them that they have to calm down.
Things rapidly went out of control as the unruly mob resorted to stone pelting and tried to spread violence, and that's when the personnel on ground cracked the whip.
Police have started to lathi charge in the area. Hundreds of protesters running inside the lane of Shalibanda area. The RPF, Rapid Action Force, have barged into this lane. Lathi charge is being done. The protesters are being hit here. As you can see, the lathi charge at this point. The police are barging into the lane. The other side, the protesters are running from the lanes here after a huge, massive crowd gathering at this Shalibanda crossroad had been protesting for quite a long time, chanting objectionable slogans. Now there is unrest, a tense atmosphere at this place here, where police have now started to lathi charge.
Several MIM corporators were shockingly present during these violent protests and were seen arguing with the cops instead of stopping the blood-curdling Sar Tan Se Juda chants. This is what is playing out in one of the most peaceful cities in the country. Violent calls for beheading and vandalism as the TRS government merely watches on, offering lip service and nothing more. With Abdul Bashir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
And a very close watch on what's continuing to unfold in the city of Hyderabad. We continue to appeal for peace and calm, and we will continue to track and bring you all the updates from that city. Quick break here on 5 Live. On the other side, a murder case has been filed in the death of BJP leader Sonali Phogat, who died of an apparent heart attack in Goa 2 days ago. She's been a big member of the Big Boss reality show as well. What happened? Who's saying what, and why has a murder case been filed? We'll tell you on the other side.
Kinmen Island. This is Taiwan's most threatened outpost, just 10 kilometers away from mainland China. If China made the Great Wall, Taiwan made a series of such tunnels right from 1949 onwards. Join me, Gaurav Sawant, as I report live and exclusive from Ground Zero, Taiwan, only on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. We've got big breaking news coming in. BJP leader Sonali Phogat, who died of an apparent heart attack in Goa 2 days ago. Well, a murder case has now been registered in her death case. The autopsy report on Sonali Phogat's body is out. The report says there are multiple blunt force injuries that have been found on the 42-year-old actor politician's body. The report comes just a few hours after a murder case was registered in the Sonali Phogat death case by her family with the Goa police. Blunt force injuries have been identified on her body in the post-mortem that has just taken place. India Today has a full copy of it.
उनके परिवार काफी संगीन आरोप लगा रहा है और इसकी उच्च स्तरीय जांच की ही जानी चाहिए ताकि जो सच है वो सामने आ सके। गोवा सरकार को इसकी जांच करनी चाहिए।
We got the complaint of the brother of the deceased, and based on that complaint we have registered a case under section 302/34 IPC, that is the murder case, and we are investigating the case as seriously as a police force should do for the murder case.
Now, Sonali Phogat's brother, who spoke to India Today, has accused the politician's private assistant and his aide for causing this death and putting up a conspiracy to kill her. Listen in. These are allegations.
सुधीर अभी अरेस्ट में है और सुधीर को मतलब कि उससे सच पूछा जाए किसके कहने से तूने सोनाली फोगाट को मारा है और सुधीर को फांसी दी जाए, ये हमारी मांग है। इसमें षड्यंत्र और भी है।
क्या मोटिव हो सकता है? क्या मोटिव है?
कुछ भी हो सकता है सर, ये कुछ भी हो सकता है। क्यों एक पॉलिटिशियन थी तो पॉलिटिशियन
क्या इसमें
मतलब कुछ भी हो सकता है सर।
क्या इसमें आपको कुछ पैसे का, जमीन का ऐसा कुछ दिखता है? उनकी प्रॉपर्टी?
हाँ, ये प्रॉपर्टी का हो सकता है, बिल्कुल।
Sonali Phogat was 42 years old. She had contested on a BJP ticket previously. She's from Haryana. She's a well-known influencer and a celebrity on social media. She was part of the reality show Big Boss as well, became widely popular, has nearly 1 million followers on Instagram, widely known as a celebrity, actor, politician, and the intersection of all three. She was in Goa earlier this week, and she was found dead, having suffered what appears to have been a heart attack 2 days ago in Goa. That's what the initial report said, but now the post-mortem talks about blunt force injuries to her body. Her family suspects foul play and has called it a conspiracy. They've even asked for a CBI investigation into the death of Sonali Phogat. She was 42 years old. She leaves behind a young family as well. Her daughter has spoken out. We will be bringing you that voice in just a moment from now. Her family has spoken out. The Haryana government has also spoken out on this. The family has approached the government of Haryana, who you just heard from as well.
मकसद एक तो जो इनकी चोरी हुई थी वो क्लियर हो गई थी भाई, जो साथ में बंदा रहने लग रहा है वो ही बंदा है क्लियर। और दूसरा प्रॉपर्टी का भी है जी। ये 3 साल से मेरी सिस्टर सोनाली फोगाट के साथ में रह रहा था बंदा, पीए एज ए पीए। उनके जिस तरह पार्टी के कार्यक्रम हो या पर्सनल कहीं जाना हो, वो इसमें
कभी सोनाली जी ने इस तरीके का शक जताया था कि उनको अपनी जान पर खतरा है?
उस दिन शाम को जिससे भी बात की, मेरी दोनों बहनों से बात की, मेरी माताजी से बात की, मेरे जीजा जी से बात की, उस दिन उसने बोला कि मेरे को ना बहुत बेचैनी और घबराहट है, खाने पीने में कुछ दिया गया है और मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि एक तो यहाँ सुधीर सांगवान है और दूसरा
नाम लिया उनका,
हाँ, सुखविंदर है, तो ये मेरे साथ में कुछ ना कुछ गलत कर सकते हैं आज।
Let's go across to Pankaj Upadhyay, live with us from Goa at this point of time. Pankaj, this entire case has escalated pretty dramatically from what appears to have been a case of heart attack to a conspiracy to now blunt force injuries being detected on her body according to the post-mortem. What are you hearing from the ground in Goa, Pankaj?
That's right. The post-mortem report that is submitted clearly states that there are multiple blunt force injury marks in the body of Sonali Phogat. And that report also says that now it is up to the investigating officer to ascertain the cause of death. Now, the doctors maintain that forensic analysis is going to be conducted, and the report of the forensic analysis is also going to be seen very closely from here on. As we have told the viewers earlier itself, that police has already registered an FIR and are now taking the statements of all the stakeholders in the hotels where Sonali Phogat had stayed, and also the shack and the hotels where she had gone in the night of 22nd and 23rd as well. Other people are also being questioned at this point of time. As far as the family members are concerned, they have taken the body and currently are moving from Goa to New Delhi, and after that they will be taking the body to Hisar as well. But right now the family says that they are very relieved that finally FIR has been registered in the case, and they say that they feel that Sonali's PA, Sudhir Sangwan, and Sudhir Sangwan's friend Sukhwinder are the one responsible for this death. They maintain that this is not a case of simple heart attack, as they have been maintaining from the very beginning, but that this was a coordinated effort on part of these two very suspects, which ultimately led to the death of Sonali Phogat.
And Pankaj, you know, the family has also asked for a CBI probe. Not hearing anything from the centre on that front just yet, but anything you're picking up from the, the BJP-led government in Goa?
Well, as far as the government is concerned, yeah, only the Chief Minister has given a statement maintaining that he has authorized the DGP of the state to conduct a thorough probe into the entire matter. Other than that, no one has spoken on this matter. The police here, surprisingly, has not spoken a word. They are not willing to come on camera. But the Chief Minister maintains that they will be looking into every aspect of this case. Earlier today, I had a word with DGP Goa, and he maintains that he registered an FIR so that the family doesn't feel that they are being discriminated. And it was on the basis of the written complaint that was submitted by Rinku Dhaka, the brother to Sonali Phogat, that a FIR has been registered. I would also like to add that as far as Sudhir Sangwan and Sukhwinder are concerned, they were taken to various places in regards to this very case. Their statements have already been taken, blood samples have already been taken, and police maintains that as far as the parallel probe is concerned, that is already being conducted. But they maintain from here on, now that the postmortem report has also come out, their investigation is going to take a new direction. But as you rightly pointed out, Shiv, this is a big revelation. The family had been maintaining from day one that this is not a case of cardiac arrest and that this is a murder. The police, which had been maintaining, in fact, the CM had also gone on to say that a preliminary report suggests that this is simply a case of heart attack. Now must have been very surprised now that the postmortem report clearly states that there are multiple blunt force injuries on the body. So yes, this story has become big in Goa. Sonali Phogat, the BJP leader, the TikTok star, and the Big Box contestant, it now appears that didn't die out of cardiac arrest, but then there could be much to the story. And two main suspects remain her personal assistant, Sudhir Sangwan, and of course, the friend to Sudhir Sangwan, Sukhwinder.
Thanks very much, Pankaj, for that. Arvind Ojha also is with us on this. Arvind, ये पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में सामने आया है कि ब्लंट फोर्स इंजरीज भी हैं सोनाली फोगट के शरीर पर, और क्या जानकारी मिल रही है इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन से, अरविंद?
देखिए, सबसे पहले मैं ये क्लियर कर दूं शिव, जिस तरह से इंडिया टुडे को गोवा पुलिस के सोर्सेज ने बताया है कि पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में ये क्लियर नहीं हुआ है कि कॉज ऑफ की मौत की वजह क्या है। ये क्लियर नहीं हुआ, इस वजह से विसरा को प्रिजर्व किया गया है। 3 तरह के और इसमें मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन की जरूरत है, जिसके बाद ये क्लियर होगा कि मौत किस वजह से हुई है, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, जो गोवा पुलिस का दावा है कि किसी भी ब्लंट ऑब्जेक्ट से अटैक किया गया है, इस तरह के जो सिम्टम्स है वो नहीं मिले हैं। उनको चोट जरूर लगी है, उसकी एक पॉसिबिलिटी ये हो सकती है कि 1.5 घंटे तक वो बाथरूम में पड़ी हुई थी। और उसके अलावा सीसीटीवी फुटेज भी सीज किया है गोवा पुलिस में, जिसमें साफ दिख रहा है कि उनको लेकर घर से अस्पताल के लिए लेकर जाया जा रहा है। लेकिन चूंकि फैमिली ने ये कंप्लेन की थी, जिसके बाद गोवा पुलिस ने 302 यानी मर्डर का केस रजिस्टर्ड किया है। पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेशन आगे बढ़ाएगी, लेकिन जब तक ओपिनियन कॉज ऑफ डेथ क्या है वो सामने नहीं आती, तब तक ये कुछ भी कहना जल्दबाजी होगी।
Thanks very much, Arvind. Thanks very much, Pankaj. We'll keep a track of that story, very, very close track of that developing story. It has escalated from heart attack to conspiracy to now a murder case being registered, blunt force injuries in that post-mortem. We'll get you more on that very, very shortly. And I just want to tell you what's coming up at 6 p.m. Pooja Shali gets you much closer than any other journalist so far with the super tech twin towers that are going to be coming crashing down just 3 days ago. Pooja is going to be live on the other side of this very short break. There she is. She's standing right next to the towers. Nobody's gotten closer. You don't want to miss that broadcast. Images like you've never seen before, a perspective of what that demolition is going to look like. Pooja with that broadcast right after this. Stay with us.